Oussama. Oussama, 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 Oussama. Hey, Oussama. Hey, Oussama. Oussama, Oussama. You really screwed up big time, Oussama.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're catching up with our favorite, why do less when you can do more girly, Debbie. Now, despite all of her son's slightly toxic protests, she has made it to Morocco.
Moroccan soil.
And I do just want to say the only reason I call what he was doing and saying toxic is because he was being so mean about it. I understand he was coming from a good place. You could see it right there at the end when he was getting her on the plane.
I'm scared. I'm scared you're gonna get hurt. I'm scared something bad may happen.
Nothing bad's gonna happen.
But that's how it should have been from the beginning. He shouldn't have been putting her down so much. That just felt like really not cool to me. But yes, despite that, she is in Morocco and her and Oussama seem very happy to see each other, but I don't know, guys. The vibes are off. Something's weird. So Oussama is just saying all the right things.
With me and DB is like we are like a team. And now I need my half to complete the team.
But when they see each other, something just feels a bit off to me. Like they both seem really happy.
Finally, I miss you so much.
Especially Debbie. Especially Debbie. Debbie is just enamored with him.
I feel like I'm in a dreamlike trance.
Are you sure you're not still high?
Like a force that words can't describe.
Horny. Yeah, crazy horny.
This is my happily ever after.
Probably not.
Debbie is just on cloud nine and just imagining the beautiful life that they're going to make together.
Oh, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real!
So they're in the car, and after Debbie makes some pretty impressive observations.
Look, Oussama, there's some cows over there.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Cow. I gotta go, Julia, we got cows!
So Debbie explains right now that they're gonna stay in the city where she landed for a night or two, and he has like apparently a really nice hotel picked out, and then they're gonna go back to his parents' house and arrange getting married and all that, and then eventually move back and get their own apartment there. So Debbie decides to ask him what he is going to expect her to be like once they're married, which is funny because it's like you're just now thinking to ask this.
First, like, I want you like to be like half Moroccan woman.
This is gonna be terrible. I know it. Immediately. Yeah, immediately.
Cooking food in home, cleaning my clothes.
What the fuck?
You know, he wants Debbie to learn from his mother basically how to cook and take care of him and do all these things. And Debbie doesn't seem real on board, but she's not like, at this moment anyway, saying no, she's not going to do it. But she's definitely hesitant about it.
I need to be half a Moroccan woman. This was never a part of the plan.
One thing he says too is while they're in his family's home, they are not to drink there. It's part of their religion. They said it's kind of like inviting demons into your house if you bring alcohol. So he says we can go out and drink, but do not bring any drink home. And she even jokes about sneaking it in, and he's like, no, that would be disrespectful to my parents if we did that. And I just found that little tidbit interesting.
When you bring a wine or any kind of drugs inside the house, it's like make the angels go outside of the home and make the devils go inside.
So they make it to the hotel, and it really is a beautiful like little hotel situation. It's gorgeous. I think he did a really nice job picking it out.
بنتي بالرياض وعشت هي بتهتم بديك الهندسة المعمارية.
But you can just tell by the way Debbie's talking and acting, like she thinks this is gonna be her romantic, like Arabian Nights fantasy.
It has a feeling of like and adventure and romance and intrigue. It's like all those things are my new reality and I'm loving it.
You know, I'm almost talking like her now. Gosh.
Some madness my life has become.
Yeah, she just thinks that this is going to be like some fantasy and he's thinking he's getting like a wife.
Certain je ne sais quoi
Yeah.
that makes me feel special.
Yep.
I feel tingly.
One thing too is they will be in separate rooms until they get married, and Debbie said she's totally chill with that.
In Morocco, me and DB, we need to sleep like different rooms till we get married because it's allowed here.
That's fine and dandy with Miss Debbie.
And after they take a few minutes to settle in and get changed, and I'm assuming Oussama gets a little bit of ice for his head.
I'll be back.
Okay.
I just want to take a minute to talk about this lion necklace that Debbie's wearing. I honestly, when it comes to Debbie, I don't know if I love her or hate her. I'm definitely leaning towards loving her. She's just funny, and there's a small chance I end up just like her. Maybe slightly more than a small chance.
This is my future.
So when they sit down to dinner, Debbie says she really wants to figure out what exactly Oussama's plans are for them and their future. And she really doesn't like what she hears.
For now, we can stay in my father's home. As you will stay like 2 months or 1 month, and after we leave to the US.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
You want me to go back to the States?
Yep.
That's what I thought. Nerd.
So basically, Oussama has changed their plans without consulting Debbie at all. He wants her to stay there with his family for a couple months and see how they work together as a couple and how she likes being with his family and everything, and then go back to the States and then come back and get married. Meanwhile, Debbie thought this was the trip that they were getting married on, that this was her official move to Morocco. And he admits this wasn't a miscommunication on their part. He lied to her.
Couldn't you tell me, gee, Debbie, why don't you come and I'll see if I can accept you in reality or not?
Because if I say to you this, he will not come.
See, I don't disagree with his plan. It's actually a very good plan to come here, stay for a few months, see how we work together in the long term instead of just the short term of like a couple weeks. But he lied to her, and he's saying that he did because she wouldn't come, which Debbie is denying that she wouldn't have. She said she would have been fine with that.
I would have welcomed Oussama saying, okay, Debbie, I need you over here 2 months before we can see if we're a good fit for each other.
So even though I think his plan is a very good plan, a very rational plan, I am on Debbie's side with this. She completely moved her whole life over here. Well, almost. She still has her house over there, and it looks like a lot of her stuff was still there. She wasn't planning on moving that till later anyway, but still.
3 years in social media, not in reality.
I've spent enough time in your reality.
That means she went down on him, right? Or is that just me thinking that?
That is correct.
So Debbie tells us how last time she visited him the year prior, that he was not only proposing to her, but he was ready to get married to her right then.
He was rushing me to the U.S. Embassy to get the required paperwork.
Which is another reason why she's just so confused on this flip of his. And my personal guess is that his parents probably convinced him to do this. We've already seen Sumit and Jenny on how the age gap can be a major thing with families, and there's a chance she's older than his parent. We haven't met him yet, so we don't know, but that would be my first guess, is that his parents convinced him to be like, just let her stay for a couple months and see how it goes. He keeps talking about how they need to know each other in reality, and I think that he needs to consider that as much for him as well, because he is marrying or wants to marry an almost 70-year-old woman, and he expects her to act like a regular Moroccan wife. So there's a chance she may not be able to do all of those things, especially because we don't know, you know, how things are over there, if they have as many amenities as we do and things like that. So she may not be able to keep up. And that's not saying that just because you're that age that you obviously can't do those things. I've met many people who can and have no problem and probably do it better than me. But, you know, I don't know what her deal is, what her physical ailments are or anything like that. But the thing is, sure, now she may be able to. In another 5, 6, 7 years, probably not, when he's just, you know, getting into his prime and she's unfortunately not. So these are a lot of things to consider, and I don't think he's really considered those. And her, she's like, I'm living out the end of my life on a beautiful romantic trip. That's what her head's been at, and not in reality, which is true. So like I said, I don't disagree with what he has said and what his plan is. I disagree with him lying to her because that was not right. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.